Hey everyone! Okay, so I've been getting great comments from email about everything about the class, everything from how grading works to how the Zoom meetings work. Great questions, great questions. We're going to get them all answered. I sat down to make some videos to answer them, and then I realized it might be better just for us to talk through them as a class. So here's the deal. I have to have you all check in to class for financial aid reasons anyway. I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but you have to show up for class on the first and second class days. So for Math 98, that's Monday and Wednesday, and for Math 105, it's either Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, depending on which section you're in. So what I want you to do is show up for a Zoom meeting. Here's the number you need to get in. At some point, I've been told that Zoom will start requiring a passcode. When they do, here's your passcode. It's just my name with a capitalized first letter, just my first name. I want you to drop in at Zoom, and I'll e-meet you that way, and I'll be able to check you all in that way. Now, hold tight. Some of you might have concerns with that. Hold tight for a second. Something else is weird with Zoom. If you get too many people in a Zoom meeting, weird tech things start to happen. It works great with a small number of people, say between 5 and 10, and then the more and more you get, the more goofy it gets. So I started something last spring that worked really well, and that is depending on what your last name starts with, what letter your last name starts with, we have you come in at a certain time. So I'd like to keep with that practice. So if your last name starts with A through G, I want you to come for the first half hour of your class meeting time. So just to give you an example, suppose your class meeting time is 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. I'm not expecting you to drop in for the entire time. Now, if you need to, that's fine. I'm just not expecting you to. Most students don't need 2 full hours in a Zoom meeting just to check in and get some help on the questions they're working on. So if you're A through G, you would show up somewhere between 8 and 8:30. Okay? If you are H through N, you'll come for the second half hour of the time. If you're O through T, you'll come for the third half hour. And if you're U through Z, you come for the fourth half hour. Now, I'm saying first, second, third, and fourth half hours because that's going to vary depending on which class you're in, right? So if you're in the 1 to 3 o'clock class, the third half hour would be 2 through 2:30. But if you're in the 10:15 to 12:15 class, that third half hour would be 11:15 to 11:45. So let's start there. That worked great in the spring. And that way you don't have 30 people on the meeting the entire time. The idea of my class is a flipped class, that you look at stuff ahead of time and then come to the meeting if you need to with questions. Okay? So we can answer those questions and many, many more on Monday and Wednesday for some of you, and for Tuesday and Thursday for the others. So keep track of those times when I want you to drop in. I can check you in then, and you can ask me any of those questions that you have that are pressing on your mind. Okay, rather than making a bunch of videos and sending them out to you, I just wanted to get something a little more concise out to you now. So once again, just so you know, you've got the Zoom meeting, which is my office phone number. If you need a passcode, it's my name, capital S. And then keep track of those last name letters and when I get you to drop in. So I'm gonna hold the Zoom meeting open the entire time, but it just keeps it's easier if we have you dropping in those half-hour increments, because it's just easier to communicate with everybody that way. Okay? As always, send me an email if something doesn't make sense, and I will individually respond to you, of course. But I just wanted to get you this one big kind of greeting. I'm excited to meet y'all. It's going to be an awesome term. You'll figure all this out really, really quickly. I run class a little bit different than most, but it seems to work for the lion's share of my students. So, excited to meet you. Stay safe, be well, and we'll talk soon.